Good morning. This is Rachel with Infused Meadow, and today I'm going to make, it's what I call a strawberry ice cream, okay? So you're going to start with 1 can or 1 1/4 cup. The old way of measuring was 1 1/4 cup. I don't believe that the cans are 1 1/4 anymore, so it will still work, of sweetened condensed milk. Now, I've just gone ahead and measured mine out. I do have a video showing you how to make your own sweetened condensed milk at home. I use for everything. Now, unfortunately, I do not make my own heavy cream, or as they call it here in the UK, double cream. So what you're going to do is you're going to take, it should be 2 1/4 cup of your heavy cream, also known as double cream in places. And you're going to add that to your bowl. Now, can you do this separately? Sure. You can whip this cream and then add in your sweetened condensed. I don't see a need to do that. Okay? I just don't. Alright. I'm going to set this over here. Now, what I also am going to do, I'm going to set this over here. I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I do have a video showing you how I make my own homemade vanilla. This is just a container that I like to continue adding mine to. 1 teaspoon is all I'm adding to this. And then I'm going to add a pinch of salt. Use whatever salt you have. Most recipes are not picky. Now, when we're canning come this summer, when I'm growing, when my garden's growing, that's different. We don't want to use, in the U.S. you have iodized salt. That does not need to be used in canning, okay? And what we're going to do is, we're going to start to whip this. We need to get this to a stiff peak. Alright? This is not very loud, so I'm just going to let it go. Start out on low, just to get everything good and mixed up. That sweetened condensed and your heavy cream. And then you're going to go up. I do it gradually. I don't like to jerk any machine up to a higher level. Motors don't generally tend to like that, so. We're going to go up again. And we're going to do this for anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes is usually what it takes, okay? Now, I won't make you watch that the whole time. I will just pause this here in a second. But this right here is all you're going to do. Make sure you keep this moving. You could probably do this in your stand mixer. I don't. I find that this right here is the best way for me, and I don't mind it. Not to mention, if you don't babysit that stand mixer, if you whip this too far past your stiff peaks, you end up making a very, very sweet kind of butter, because you'll go too far, excuse me, and your heavy cream will break once it passes stiff peaks. So, I'm going to keep this going, and I will bring you back when I've reached my stiff peaks. Okay, so I have reached not a completely stiff peak, which I'm okay with. And what I'm going to do now is I make my own strawberry freezer jam. All this is my homegrown strawberries with a little bit of lemon juice, some sugar, and pectin. That's all. I'm going to add, now you can probably do this with store jelly or jam, sorry. I didn't add a lot, maybe 4 tablespoons, and I just want to gently mix this in. And get this back to my stiff peak. And from what I can tell by feel, we're there. Okay. Now, I'm going to scrape these down as best I can, which is usually easier said than done. Now, you've seen I did not add a lot. Sorry. And there's a reason for that. Okay, this is a container that I bought several years back. And I just like to use it for ice cream since it's basically the perfect portion. And all you're going to do, or this is what I do, I should say, is I'm going to put about half of my mixture in here. And I like to smooth this out. And then I like to, hang on, let me grab another spatula. Okay. I like to pour more of my strawberry freezer jam over it to create like a layer. Now, I don't add a lot of sugar to mine, so this is not extremely sweet, you know, unlike the store-bought stuff. But if you don't make your own, it's okay. You can still use your favorite jam. You don't even have to use strawberries if you don't want to. If you have a favorite cherry or, you know, any of the jams, you're good. You just go right ahead. And then I'm going to add the rest of this. But now you know, once everything starts growing and I'm harvesting from my garden, I will be doing some canning videos. I'll be showing you how I make all of the things that you see me using in my kitchen. Because everything I do is from scratch. I do make pasta, but not as much as I should be, if I'm honest. I will get back into that, and I will do some videos showing you how to make pasta. If you're interested in that, you can watch them when the videos come out. As you see, I make my own bread, and as I make different breads, I will definitely be doing videos on that. I make my own soap. I'm still working on a good shampoo bar recipe. Now, I personally like the rose. My Luxe Rose Bar, but I have very thick, very curly hair, and I have found that that Luxe Rose Bar is perfect for my hair, and it doesn't dry it out. But I don't really have anybody, you know, that can test things out to know, does it work on thinner hair, finer hair, straight thin, straight fine, dyed. I don't dye my hair either. I don't even wear makeup. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add, actually, my hands are clean. I wash them 50 times a day at least, so it's fine. Alright, I'm going to add some more of my jam. Not a whole lot. Like I said, this is freezer jam anyways, so I usually lay it out when we're going to use it on our biscuits, or like for this, and then we'll use what's left in that jar on our biscuits this weekend for breakfast. And I have done a video showing you how I make my biscuits. Alright, I vacuum seal. I dehydrate, I vacuum seal, and I can. That's the ways that I know of to preserve. So these are from my garden, and I vacuum sealed these. That's to keep ice crystals off. And all I'm going to do is break these up, because they're still somewhat frozen. And I'm going to lay these across the top. And you know, if we're honest, there is nothing better than picking a fresh strawberry from your garden. The flavors are amazing. So I like to capture that. I do the freezer jam and I freeze. I also dehydrate whenever I like the little snacks. You know, it's a lot like fruit leather from the store, but better because all it is sliced up strawberries that you just dehydrate. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to just dry this off. I'll be right back. I'm going to wash my hands. Okay, so we have our ice cream. All I'm going to do now is I've got myself some parchment paper, and I'm going to gently press this down. I want to also, finely, not overwhelmingly, but finely press those strawberries down in there. And this will protect your ice cream from developing any kind of ice on the top from your freezer. And then you're just going to put your lid on there and store this in your freezer. This will be ready to eat in 6 to 8 hours. I personally like to wait about a day. So at 6 to 8 hours, you have a very nice soft serve ice cream. If you wait a day, it's soft at first, but as you get into it, I can promise you it's more like your store-bought, kind of a little harder ice cream. Still absolutely delicious. I love it. I think it is beautiful. It tastes really good, and you know exactly what's in it. Now, the only ice creams that I have not made yet that I make for my home is I make an orange ice cream, and I also make a chocolate, which I will get to. And when I make the chocolate, it will be here's how to make 3 different types of chocolate ice cream. So we will get to that, but this is what I'm making us. So, okay, it's almost Valentine's Day. I'm just going to throw this out there. You will not see, here's a meal for Valentine's Day from me. I'm not going to do, here's good cookies for Valentine's Day. I've got a few cookie recipes up. I have not gotten to the rest of them. I will. I have a whole lot of cookies that I make. I have a lot of everything that I make. And we'll slowly get there. But for me personally, in my home, I do not celebrate Valentine's Day. I love my husband 365 days a year. I do not need one day to tell me that I love him. And I don't need one day for him to tell me he loves me. And it's the same for my children. They know I love them 365 days a year. I don't need Valentine's Day to send them little hearts with anything written on them because they know I love them. So that's me in my home. That's how I feel about it. So just so you know, you will not get any of that from me. Now, if I have a meal that you like, make it. And I hope that you love it because it's still about being together. It's about you spending the day with the person you love, or the evening. If you work, it's whatever you have going on. So that's just how I feel about it, and that's how I see it. I don't need a day. So it's not a rant. That's just me telling you what to expect. I will try to put out my dinner today, and then there's this, and then this is Thursday, so there is still tomorrow where I will try to show, what I can that I'm making, I should say. I don't want to double up on videos unless it was a bad video and I'm just redoing it because I wasn't happy with the first one, like the sweetened condensed milk and the biscuits. But other than that, I will try to always bring something new that I'm doing. I don't make things that I don't know. I only do what I normally do. And I figure that hopefully for everybody that sees, I'm real, my home is real, and that it's just helpful. That's my goal, to be helpful. And, they say you learn something new every day. I hope that this is something new that you learn and that you make and that you love it. And like I said, you don't have to use strawberries. You use whatever fruit you want. I would be careful with pineapple only because of the high acidity. I would probably just lay my pineapples on here. I don't know how much juice I would add because it could change your stiff peaks. Or you could go ahead and get it to a complete stiff peak. Add in about 1/4 a cup of because you could do it like I do my orange, I'm thinking. You could add 1/4 a cup, 1/4 to 1/2 a cup. I would do 1/4 to 1/3. 1/4 to 1/3 a cup of your pineapple juice at stiff peaks, and then just gently fold that in. And then from there, you could put yourself some little pineapple chunks into your ice cream, the same way I've done here. And then you just put that in your freezer. So you'll do the same thing with cherry or any other kind that you like, okay? So anyway, I hope that this helps in some way, shape, or form. I hope you make it. I hope you love it, if not like it. And if not, then as I always say, I hope that you find the recipe that's right for you out there somewhere. And as always, I hope you have yourself a very wonderful day.